up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're having an awesome day. A few days ago, I saw a video on Instagram, and it was showing a bunch of people running through the streets. It was in Times Square after a motorcycle had backfired, and people are just going everywhere. It was nuts. Check it out.
People screaming, scattering, widespread panic in Times Square after mistaking the sounds of a motorcycle backfiring for the worst.
And we just hear pop, 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 pop. I thought that somebody just came here and started shooting people.
It sounded like gunshots. It definitely did. 2,000 or 3,000 people maybe just dissipated into thin air.
Police say just before 10 p.m., a motorcycle passing through the area of 7th Avenue and 46th Street in a group of motorcycles backfired, resulting in a stampede of people running for their lives, or so they believe. Broadway shows were just letting out. Tourist Tara Clausen was leaving the theater with her daughters.
Wanting to protect my children and safety and praying that this wasn't the end. We were frightened because this is the world we live in, and it shouldn't have to be this way. We shouldn't have to have girls with their whole life in front of them be afraid.
Exactly what she just said. Things are not fine the way that they are. We need change. And the gospel of the kingdom of God is the good news that change is coming. It's true. You and I will not be able to fix the problems of this world, but we can be a glimpse of a better way. We can share the hope that we have, the joy that we have, the peace that we have because of what we know through the actions of our lives. In Matthew 5, in the longest address of Jesus Christ in the Bible, he gives us our identity. In verse 13, he says, "You are the salt of the earth." In verse 14, he says, "You are the light of the world." To be the salt of the earth, to be this light, we can't hide from the world. We can't be out there hiding in the woods, hoping we never come in contact with anybody out there, avoiding all personal contact and physical contact with people in the world. Salt doesn't season anything unless it actually physically comes in contact with it. It could be sitting on the table all day long, but until it physically comes in contact with the food, it finally brings the season. And that's gotta be us. On the other side, we're not running around chasing people through the streets with the Bible. We're not preaching on corners. We're not out there going house to house or banging on doors, trying to convince people with our words. Too much salt isn't good either. Christ didn't take us out of the world. He wanted us here to be a light. In John chapter 17, he tells us, "I do not pray that you should take them out of the world." He actually kept us here for a purpose. In verse 18, he says, "As you sent me into the world, I also have sent them into the world." There is a time for teaching, there is a time for preaching. But for most of us, it will be the actions of our everyday lives that either demonstrate the joy, the hope, the change, the peace, or not. Our daily interactions are opportunities to be something incredible, something so special. But do we demonstrate godly character? Are we peacemakers? Do we love our neighbor? Do we serve our neighbor? Do we live a life of give? Do we share the joy of someone who knows that better days are coming? In Luke chapter 2, at age 12, Jesus Christ says, "Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business?" He wouldn't be baptized for another 18 years, but there's no doubt about it. In everything that he did, his daily interactions, he would be a light to every single person he came in contact with. And the last thing written in the book of John, John chapter 21 and verse 25, "And there are also many other things that Jesus did, which if they were written one by one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that would be written." We could talk about this subject for a long time, but today I simply want to challenge you to push yourself, to think differently, to actively look for ways to bring joy, to bring hope to a world that has none, to let your actions be the demonstration of the change that is coming, a better way, God's way of life. Not just today or tomorrow, but every moment for the rest of your life. Have a fantastically awesome day.